All right, we are going to start initial appearances at the Orange County Jail. I'm Judge Tanya Wilson. Counsel for the state, please make your appearances.
Patricia Blotzer for the state.
And for the Public Defender's Office.
Stacy Felter for the Public Defender.
All right. Sir, are you Hector Quintanilla Lopez?
Señor, usted es caballero Héctor Quintanilla López.
Sí.
Yes.
You were arrested on a charge of aggravated battery on a pregnant person
Usted fue arrestado por agresión agravada a una persona embarazada
and battery by strangulation, domestic violence.
y agresión con estrangulación en un acto de violencia doméstica.
There's probable cause to support the arrest on both charges,
Existe motivo fundado para el arresto en ambos cargos.
and there's a victim in the witness box over here.
Hay una víctima presente.
Ma'am, would you please state your full name?
Emily Ferreira Lorenzo.
All right, ma'am, how are you related to Mr. Quintanilla Lopez?
Señorita, ¿qué relación tiene usted con el caballero Quintanilla López?
I'm his girlfriend.
Yo soy su novia.
And what do you wish to tell me today?
¿Y qué desea decirme en el día de hoy?
We were play fighting and it got out of hands. And
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The interpreter respectfully requests that she is.
Can you lean
close to
into the microphone?
oh, I'm sorry. We were play fighting and it got out of hand and it was a misinterpretation of my friend.
Estábamos retosando y se pasó más allá de lo debido. Fue una mala interpretación por parte de mi amistad.
And I'm 1 month along and I don't want to press any charges or anything. It just got out of hand and it was an accident.
Ya llevo un mes de embarazo. Yo no quiero proceder con cargos. Esto solamente fue un accidente.
Are you afraid of your boyfriend?
¿Usted teme a su novio?
No.
No.
Do you want to have contact with him?
¿Usted desea tener contacto con él?
Yes.
Do you
Sí.
live with him?
¿Usted vive
Yes.
con él?
All right. Sir, do you work?
Caballero, ¿usted trabaja?
Yes or no?
¿Sí o no?
I need you to answer out loud.
Necesito que conteste
Sí.
en voz alta. Yes.
And are you going to be able to go back to your job?
¿Usted va a poder regresar a su trabajo?
Sí.
Yes.
Would you have money to be able to post a bond in this case?
¿Usted tiene dinero para poder pagar una fianza en este caso?
No ahora mismo.
Not right now.
Your Honor, I believe defendant is also a student at Boone High School, if I'm correct.
Su señoría, el acusado también es un alumno, si no me equivoco, de la escuela Boone High School.
Estuve, sí.
I was there, yes.
Okay, he doesn't have any prior criminal history. The only thing that I can find was he was alien inadmissibility under Section 212. With the victim being present, they both want to have contact, and I will defer to the court. We could qualify the defendant for pretrial release, straight pretrial release, Your Honor.
Su señoría no tiene antecedente penal, lo único que tenía es extranjero que no calificaba bajo la sección 212. Voy a diferirle a su señoría, él pudiera cumplir requisitos para libertad prejudicial directa.
When you reference 212, what are you referencing?
Cuando usted se refiere al 212, ¿a qué se refiere?
When they get an immigration hold.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't
I was
have
just
the
making
immigration
sure.
hold yet, but that is what it refers to back in the history.
Eso se refiere al retén de inmigración. Él aún no tiene un retén de inmigración, pero a eso es lo que me estoy refiriendo.
Does he have an immigration
No,
hold?
no.
Él
not yet.
no tiene retén de inmigración todavía.
And I don't know if he will get one. It's a big possibility he could get a hold, but we just don't have it yet.
No existe todavía el retén, existe una gran posibilidad que le tablen uno, pero todavía no lo tiene.
Okay, well, since you qualify for a pretrial release,
Ya que cumple requisitos para la libertad prejudicial,
no,
Okay.
no, he can, no, he can do pretrial release, but he's got to do it with the monetary bond. I'll do pretrial release with the monetary bond of $2,000.
le voy a dar libertad prejudicial con una fianza de $2,000.
And you're to have no hostile contact with the victim in this case.
No se le permitirá contacto hostil con la víctima en este caso.
You are to possess no controlled substances without a valid prescription.
No se le permite portar o consumir drogas controladas a que no sea que tenga receta válida.
You cannot have any guns, weapons, or ammunition.
No se le permite armas de fuego, armas blancas o municiones.
You have to make all of your court appearances
Tiene que comparecer en todas sus fechas de comparecencia.
and your. So this means he. And so you will have your attorney determination at your initial appearance.
Se va a determinar la asignación de abogado
Oh,
en,
no,
su,
at your arraignment, because you're.
en su lectura de cargos.
At arraignment.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, he does have a second charge, a battery by strangulation
Okay,
as
well
well.
then,
Y tiene un segundo cargo de,
$150
de agresión
on the second charge.
con estrangulación. I'm sorry, Your Honor, my apologies. Who's fault?
150.
Thank you. $150 de fianza en ese cargo.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero.
David Ocasio Cruz. Yeah, thank you for telling me about that. I'll just keep on going. I'm just like,
I know,
count one is enough. Let's keep on going. Okay. Are you David Ocasio Cruz?
¿Usted es David Ocasio Cruz? Yes.
Sir, you were arrested on a charge of domestic violence, assault.
Usted fue arrestado por un cargo de agresión por violencia doméstica.
There's probable cause to support the arrest.
Existe un motivo fundado para apoyar el arresto.
There's a victim in the witness box.
Hay una víctima aquí presente.
Ma'am, would you please tell me your full name?
Señora, por favor, dígame su nombre completo.
Kenisha López Archival.
All right. Ma'am, would you please tell me how are you related to Mr. Ocasio Cruz?
Señora, ¿qué relación tiene usted con el caballero Ocasio Cruz?
Padre de mi hijo.
He's my kid's father.
And what would you like for me to know about this case?
¿Qué quisiera que yo supiera referente a este caso?
Nada, que fue una discusión que tuvimos y pues yo llamé al 911 para que pues lo sacaran como tal de la casa, porque como estábamos discutiendo.
It was an argument that we had, and I called 911 so they would take him out of the house because we were having an argument.
Are you afraid of Mr. Ocasio Cruz?
¿Usted teme al señor Ocasio Cruz?
No,
No.
Do you want to have contact with him?
¿Usted desea tener contacto con él?
sí,
Yes.
Do you two live together?
¿Ustedes viven juntos?
sí,
Yes.
Mr. Ocasio Cruz, do you have a job?
Señor Ocasio Cruz, ¿tiene usted un trabajo?
Sí,
Yes.
Can you go back to work?
¿Usted puede regresar a su trabajo?
sí.
Yes.
How long have you lived in Orlando?
¿Cuánto tiempo lleva viviendo usted en Orlando?
Como 3 años.
About 3 years.
How long have you had your job?
¿Cuánto tiempo lleva en ese trabajo?
En un año.
There, a year.
Do you have any kind of, no. Is this his first offense, or does he have other offenses?
No, Your Honor, this is his first offense, and we did qualify Mr. Ocasio for straight PTR.
Es su primer delito y él cumple requisitos para la libertad prejuicial directa.
What's he charged with? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll release you on straight PTR.
Le daré libertad con condiciones de libertad prejuicial.
No hostile contact.
No se le permitirá contacto hostil.
Don't have any guns, firearms, weapons, ammunition.
No se le permite portar armas de fuego, armas blancas o municiones.
Don't have any controlled substances or drugs without a prescription.
No puede portar o ingerir sustancias controladas o drogas a que no sea que tenga una receta válida.
And make sure you go to all of your court appearances.
Y asegúrese de estar presente en todas sus fechas de comparecencia.
All right, good luck to you.
Buena suerte, caballero.
Nieves Valencia. Oh, Nieves Valencia. I hope I had- Sir, are you Miguel Angel Nieves Valencia?
Señor, usted es Miguel Ángel Nieves Valencia.
Sí.
Yes.
You've been arrested on charges of trafficking in fentanyl, 4 grams or more, possession of cocaine, and carrying a concealed firearm. There's probable cause to support the arrest.
Señor, usted le acusan de traficar en fentanil más allá de 4 gramos, posesión de cocaína y portar arma de fuego.
Sí.
Yes.
Your bonds are going to be stayed at the following amounts.
Las fianzas serán los siguientes.
Count number 1, $100,000.
Primer cargo, $100,000.
Count 2 and 3, $150 each.
En el segundo y tercer cargo, $150 cada uno.
As a condition of your bond, you are to possess and use no controlled substances without a valid prescription.
No se le permitirá portar o ingerir sustancia controlada que no sea que tenga licencia, receta válida.
You are not to return to the scene of the arrest.
No puede regresar a la escena del arresto.
You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
No se le permite portar armas de fuego, armas blancas o municiones.
You are to make all of your court appearances,
Tiene que presentarse a todas sus fechas de comparecencia.
and your attorney determination will be made at your arraignment.
Se le determinará su representación legal en la lectura de cargos.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero.
Perez Garcia. Are you Luis Alejandro Perez Garcia?
Usted es Luis Alejandro Pérez García.
Sí.
Yes.
You were arrested on 2 charges, tampering with the witness and resisting with violence.
Usted fue arrestado en 2 cargos, interferir con un testigo y resistir a un oficial con violencia.
There's probable cause to support the arrest.
Hay motivo fundado apoyando apoyando el arresto.
The bonds will be stayed at $1,150 each.
Las fianzas serán programadas en $1,000 y $150 cada uno.
As a condition, you are not to possess or use any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Como condición, no se le permitirá ingerir o portar drogas ilícitas o sustancias controladas hasta que no sea que tenga una receta válida.
You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
No se le permite portar armas de fuego, armas blancas o municiones.
You are to make all of your court appearances,
Tiene que estar presente en todas sus fechas de comparecencia
and your attorney determination will be made at your arraignment.
y en la determinación de su representación legal se hará en su lectura de cargos.
Good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero.
Christian Padilla Oliveras. All right. Sir, you have 2 cases.
Señor, usted tiene 2 casos.
Are you Christian Padilla Oliveras?
Yes.
Usted es Cristian Padilla Oliveras.
Yes.
Okay. On your first case, you have a charge of resisting an officer with violence, 2 counts, plus battery on a law enforcement officer and aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer.
Usted tiene en el primer caso resistir con violencia 2 cargos, agresión en un oficial policiaco y agresión agravada en un oficial policiaco.
There's probable cause to support the arrest in that case.
Hay motivo fundado que apoya ese arresto en ese caso.
On count number 1, the bond will be reduced to $150.
En el primer cargo, la fianza será reducida a $150.
Count 2, the bond will be reduced to $150.
En el segundo será reducido a $150.
Count number 3, the bond will be reduced to $150.
En el tercer cargo será reducida la fianza a $150.
And count number 4, the bond will be reduced to $15,000.
Y en el cuarto cargo será reducida la fianza a $15,000.
In the other case, you were arrested on a charge of possession of less than 20 grams of cannabis.
En el otro caso fue arrestado por posesión de menos de 20 gramos de cannabis.
There's probable cause to support the arrest in that case.
Hay motivo fundado que apoya el arresto en ese caso.
Your bond will be stayed at $500.
Se le programará su fianza en $500.
As a condition of both of these cases, you are to possess no drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Como condiciones, en ambos casos no se le permite ingerir o portar drogas o sustancias controladas a que no sea que tenga receta válida.
You are not to return to the scene of the offense.
No puede regresar al lugar de los acontecimientos.
You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
No se le permite portar armas de fuego, armas blancas o municiones.
And your attorney determination will be made at your arraignment.
La determinación de su representación legal se hará en la vista de lectura de cargos.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero.
Your Honor, did we address the battery charge?
No, ma'am, we didn't.
Su señoría, hablamos del cargo de agresión, no su señoría.
Is he here? Let me see.
No, not your fault. I missed one charge. There's also a battery charge, Mr. Radia.
Señor Padilla, también existe un cargo de agresión
There's probable cause to support that
y
arrest.
existe motivo fundado que apoya ese arresto
The bond in that case will be set at
y
$500
se programarán $500 esa fianza,
with the same conditions that I previously announced,
que con las mismas condiciones que había anunciado yo anteriormente,
where you are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances without a prescription,
que no poseer drogas o sustancias controladas sin tener receta válida,
not to return to the offense.
no puede regresar al lugar de los acontecimientos
Additionally, you'll have no contact with the victim,
y adicionalmente no se le permite contacto con la víctima,
no firearms, weapons, or ammunition,
no se le permite portar armas de fuego, armas blancas o municiones,
and your attorney will be determined at your arraignment.
y su abogado será determinado en la lectura de cargos.
All right. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Are you Yaslan Testi?
¿Usted es Yaslan Teste?
Are you,
Yes.
sir, you were arrested on a charge of possession of more than 20 grams of cannabis,
Usted fue arrestado, caballero, por poseer más allá de 20 gramos de cannabis,
carrying a concealed firearm,
portar arma oculta,
destruction of evidence,
destrucción de pruebas
and possession of a weapon in commission of a felony.
y poseer un arma de fuego cometiendo un delito mayor.
There's probable cause to support the arrest.
Existe motivo fundado para apoyar el arresto.
Your bonds will be stayed at the following amounts.
Las fianzas serán programadas de la siguiente manera.
The cannabis charge at $2,500,
El cargo de cannabis, $2,500.
the firearm charge at $150,
El arma de fuego, $150.
destruction of evidence at $150,
Destrucción de pruebas, $150.
and the possession of the weapon charge at $150.
Y la posesión del arma, $150.
You are not to return to the scene of the offense.
No se le permitirá regresar al lugar de los acontecimientos.
You're not to possess any controlled substances without a prescription.
No se le permite portar sustancias controladas sin una receta válida.
You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
No se le permite portar armas de fuego, armas blancas o municiones.
You must make all of your court appearances,
Tiene que presentarse a todas sus fechas de comparecencia.
and your attorney will be determined at arraignment.
Y se va a determinar su abogado en la lectura de cargos.
Good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero.
Thank you.
Walter Gomez. Sir, are you Walter Gomez?
Caballero, usted es Walter Gómez. Yes.
You have been arrested on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Usted ha sido arrestado por agresión agravada con arma mortífera.
There's probable cause to support that arrest.
Existe motivo fundado apoyando ese arresto.
Your bond will be stayed at $2,500.
La fianza será programada en $2,500.
You are not to return to the scene of the offense.
No debe regresar al lugar de los acontecimientos.
You are not to possess or use any controlled substance without a prescription.
No puede portar o usar un arma, sustancia controlada a que no sea que tenga receta válida.
You are to have no contact with victims and witnesses.
No se le permitirá tener contacto con víctimas o testigos.
You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition.
Y no se le permite portar armas de fuego, armas blancas o municiones.
And you are to make all of your court appearances.
Y tiene que presentarse a todas sus fechas de comparecencia.
You also have been arrested on an out-of-county warrant for failing to appear in court out of Seminole County.
También fue arrestado por una orden de arresto mediante el condado de Seminole por falta de comparecencia,
It was on a charge for no valid driver license.
por un cargo de no portar licencia válida de conducir.
The judge in that case set your bond at none.
Y el juez ha programado su fianza en ese caso en no fianza.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero. And Your Honor, seeing as that there's no other Spanish cases, may the interpreter be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
You as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you have these turned. These were turned. Is there something?
Oh, no, that was just
I thought it said none. Teletype is often on. Okay. Can I have Mr. Gomez back? He might be a little happy. His bond is actually $3,000. It says none, but teletype says 3,000.
Your Honor, I was going to say, I looked at it,
Yes,
and
it
it looked
is,
like
Your
it was
Honor.
set at 3,000.
It is, it's 3,000.
But do you see where it says bond amount 0? Where it says out-of-county warrant, out-of-state warrant arrest, and it says bond amount / bond station, and then it says 0?
Let's see.
Do you see it?
Yeah. Your Honor, I can't even see. Can I-
I'm like looking, I'm looking like dead at, I wanna like put like a sticky on it.
I thought maybe you saw something different, Your
Y'all,
Honor.
I'm a little old lady and I can see this. Look,
Let me see.
right here.
Yes, a 0 bond,
Is it?
but on the teletype it's stating 3,000.
I'm sorry.
Good morning once again, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Do you-
Yes. You're correct.
See? Y'all, that man's gonna go out here skipping now. Mr. Gomez, I made a mistake.
Señor Gómez, yo me equivoqué.
On your paperwork, it's actually, you have a $3,000 bond on the failure to appear.
En su documentación aparece que usted sí tiene fianza por su falta de comparecencia de $3,000.
Oh. So it's not no bond, it's a $3,000 bond.
Entonces, no es que no tenga fianza, es que tiene una fianza de $3,000.
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Claro.
El oficial que me arrestó a mí, yo no tenía armas de fuego en ningún momento.
Well, the officer that arrested me, I never had a firearm on me at any time.
Okay. It wasn't a firearm, it's just a deadly weapon.
Señor, no fue arma de fuego, es arma mortífera.
No entiendo.
I don't understand.
A weapon doesn't have to, a weapon can be something other than a firearm.
Un arma puede ser algo más allá que un arma de fuego.
Pero el problema fue que
Sir.
me arrestaron y
Sir,
Señor,
don't talk about the facts of your case right
no
now,
hable
okay?
sobre los hechos de su caso.
okay,
Okay. He's done.
Have a good day, Your Honor.
Thank you. I am done now. Bye.
No worries.
All right. Tyrick Javon Balker. State, is this just an active warrant that was out for Mr. Bacher? And I'm asking because I don't have an affidavit, so I'm assuming probable cause has already been made and he just needed to be picked up. Is that the case?
Yes, Your Honor. I know that from the clerk's site this morning, I was able to find the arrest warrant. It looks like it was, well, the copy I have here was sworn and subscribed by the officer on September 17th of this year.
State, he's charged with first-degree felony murder and robbery with a firearm. All right, Mr. Bacher, you have been charged with felony murder, first degree, and robbery with a firearm. There has already been a probable cause determination and an arrest warrant was issued. Your bonds were previously set at none. There is probable cause, as it's already previously been set or determined in this case. State, do you have a position on the bond amount?
Your Honor, the state would request that the bond be left at no bond.
Defense?
Your Honor, we are asking the court to set bond at this time. I've read over the warrant. I do not believe that it proves evidence presumption great. We're asking for the defendant to have bond set in this case, Your Honor.
All right. In this particular matter, the court is going to hold the defendant in detention, in pretrial detention at a no bond status so that there can be an Arthur hearing before Judge O'Kane. And that will be set on her docket. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to
Yes, Your Honor.
represent him at this time. So, Mr. Bacher, there will be an attorney from that office to come out and see you at some point, or at least see you via their Polycom system.
I have an attorney on the case.
You already have an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is your attorney, sir?
Let's see.
Eileen Blacker.
Is there a notice of appearance? I can check.
I don't see, I'm looking at it here. I don't see a notice of appearance filed yet.
Yeah.
They're not going to be your attorney until the notice of appearance is filed. So I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in the meantime. So you do have an attorney right now. And if Mr. Ali and Mr. Blankner file a notice, then the Public Defender's Office will get off, hand everything over to Mr. Ali and Mr. Blankner, and it'll just be a smooth transition. But until the time that you hire them, you do have an office of attorneys behind you to support you and defend you.
All right. Okay.
Good luck to you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
May I approach real quick? I'm a little confused with PD's determination of counsel, so when I appoint any PD's law.
On this particular case, I appointed the public defender because he's facing, because of the nature of his charges, and he's sitting in jail on a no bond. They've asked for a bond hearing. The state's going to have to proceed on proof evident presumption. Great. He needs to have an attorney today. I'm not appointing the public defender unless they've got a sheet attached. And other ones, I'm just saying that they will be appointed, or they'll deal with the attorney at their arraignment. Because I don't have the,
Because they have a note here on my email that, I guess during with the COVID, they were appointing public defenders.
no, they don't do it.
They weren't, but now they're doing PD forms, so.
They have been appointing by the order. There was an order, the amended order for the COVID that said that they could be appointed without the affidavit.
Okay.
So it's definitely, I can provide the order, but it's the amended order that Judge Myers.
Okay, so we'll just wait. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir, are you Karan Robinson? I'll take the refusal as a waiver of appearance today. This is a violation of pretrial release. The bond in this case will be set at none. There's probable cause in the affidavit, and the attorney will be determined at arraignment. Are you Edgar Leyva?
Ma'am.
Yes? Okay. Mr. Leyva, you were arrested on an out-of-county warrant from Brevard County. You failed to appear at your arraignment. Your bond in that case is set at $1,000. And it looks like it's just that one charge. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Andromeda Ramos?
Your Honor, she's behavior, Your Honor.
Behavior? I'll see her tomorrow. Marcos Acosta? Mr. Acosta, you were arrested on attempted burglary of an occupied structure. There's probable cause to support the arrest. The bond in this case will be set at $1,500. You qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office. I will appoint that office to represent you. Sir, you are not to return to the scene of this offense. You are not to possess or use any controlled substance or drugs while you're out. You cannot possess any firearms or weapons or ammunition while you're out on bond. And make sure you make all of your court appearances and stay in contact with your lawyer. All right. Good luck to you. Tony Spratt? Are you Mr. Spratt?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Spratt, you were arrested on a charge of first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder with a firearm. Probable cause had previously been found in the arrest affidavit. State your position on bond.
The state would request to be left at a no bond status.
Defense?
Your Honor, the defendant is entitled to bond. I understand the charges, Your Honor, but just reading through, Your Honor, there's no proof evident presumption based on the arrest affidavit. We're asking for a bond to be set in this case.
All right. The court is not going to set a bond in this case. the state can proceed on, would you be proceeding on proof evident presumption great?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the state can have the Arthur hearing in front of the division judge in Division 17. Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent Mr. Spratt. Anything further from state or defense on this matter?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense. Your
All
Honor.
right. Thank you very much. Robert Allen Young.
He recused, Your Honor.
I will accept his refusal as a waiver of his appearance today. Mr. Allen has a charge of possession of cocaine and possession of 3,4-methylene deoxymethamphetamine, also known as MDMA. There's probable cause to support the arrest in both of those counts. Count number 1, bond will be stayed at $1,000. Count 2, bond stayed at $150. Mr. Young was out on bond. It looks like in case number 2020 CF 4330 or 4330 AO for possession of cocaine and possession of methamphetamine. Actually, he was OR'd on that. His OR will be revoked. New bond set at none on both counts.
He has a petty theft.
There's another sheet.
11321 AL.
And then he has a petty theft in 2020 CF 11321AO. Is that bond set at $1,000?
One moment, Your Honor. Yes, yes.
The bond of $1,000 will be revoked, new bond set at none. Antoine Harrison.
What's up, yeah?
Mr. Harrison, you were arrested on a charge of trespass on property after a warning. There's probable cause here to support that arrest. Your bond in that case will be set at $500. You can't go back to that scene, sir.
Yeah.
You can't possess any drugs or controlled substances without a prescription. You can't possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition while you're out on bond. You have to make all your court appearances, and you must stay in contact with your attorney. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Your Honor, is there a way that Your Honor would ROR in this case, or PTR?
He doesn't qualify for PTR.
Possible plea offer.
Is there a plea offer in this case, state?
Your Honor, the state would be willing to offer an adjudication of guilt, 5 days Orange County Jail, and then no return to the scene as an offer at this time.
5 days and no return? All right.
So adjudication. What was it? Adjudication? 5 days?
Adjudication, 5 days and no return.
All right.
Do you want to accept that offer, Mr. Harrison?
Yeah. Nah.
So is
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I think what he meant was that he was going to go ahead and he was going to pay the bond. He's going to bond out.
Oh, he's
With the
gonna bond out.
conditions,
Oh,
yes.
okay. All right, that's fine.
Okay. How much is the bond?
My bond is 500. Are you Will Gunn's Cherry? All right. Mr. Chair, you were arrested for violation of probation. In your case, the judge set your bond at none. I will appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Corey Roberts. Mr. Roberts, well, are you Corey Edward Roberts?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are here on a violation of conditional release, no, a violation of a condition of your pretrial release. The judge in your case set your bond at $250, and I will appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Good luck, sir. Are you Shantoria Bowie?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Bowie, you were arrested on charges of burglary of an occupied conveyance, aggravated battery causing great bodily harm, domestic violence, criminal mischief between $200 and $1,000, and domestic violence battery. State, I found probable cause on counts 2 and 4. Count 2, bond will be set at $7,500. Count 4, bond will be set at $500. Talk to me about counts 1 and 3.
Your Honor, I believe the burglary of the occupied conveyance was when the defendant opened the door to the vehicle and started scratching the victim's neck and hitting him. And then the criminal mischief was from the defendant throwing glass bottles at the vehicle, where the damage was estimated to be about $300.
Okay. Count 1 is $150. Count 3 is $100.
And Your Honor, we did qualify Ms. Bowie for pretrial release.
Not with this charge. Does she qualify for the public defender's office?
I don't know whether I can talk.
Okay. Ms. Bowie qualifies for the services of the public defender's office, so Ms. Bowie, I will appoint that office to represent you. As a condition of your bond, you are not to possess or use any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with the victim or witnesses. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You must stay in contact with your attorney, and you must make all of your court appearances. Any questions about the terms of your bond?
Any questions?
Any questions about the terms of your bond?
Not really, but he came to my house and he choked me.
Um,
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
not about the facts of your case.
Don't
You
talk
have
about the facts right now,
I'm
okay?
sorry.
just questions about the terms
No,
that I
ma'am,
gave
no,
you on
ma'am.
your bond.
No, ma'am.
All right, then. Good luck to you.
Do I got a bun?
Yes, ma'am, you do.
And how much is it for all?
7,500, 500, that's 800, 8,000, 81, 8,000, because I just did 100 on.
That's crazy.
So it's 8,250.
150, 7,500, 150, and 500?
No, 100. I did, count 1 is 150, count 2 is 7,500, count 3 is 100, count 4 is 500.
Would Your Honor be willing to reduce any of those bonds so that she can financially afford to bond out to speak to her attorneys?
What were they before? None? Yeah, there were none before. In light of the conduct, I consider the nature and circumstances of the offense. And the mace on the baby is high. So I consider that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next case is Matthew Kane. Did he refuse? Oh, no, he's here. Okay, I remember. There's your sticky there.
Your Honor, will you be speaking with the witness first, or I'd like to make a probable cause argument when I'm able.
You want to do what now?
I would like to raise probable cause in this case.
Okay,
Do not
I'll
believe
do
there
it
is-
before I'll do it before the, okay, I will. All right.
Thank you.
Are you Matthew Allen Kane?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Kane, you were arrested on a charge of domestic violence, battery, and abuse of an elderly or disabled adult. Is there an issue regarding probable cause?
Yes, Your Honor, we do not believe there is probable cause in the case. I've read the arrest affidavit. Basically, the alleged victim didn't even want to talk about it first, and there was really no indication that what he was alleging happened. I don't see statements that rise with the circumstance, the totality even corroborated and gave probable cause for the arrest of Mr. Kane.
State?
Your Honor, the state would argue that that just because the victim initially didn't want to provide a statement, that they did get information from the victim that the defendant had slapped him in the face and grabbed his arm and testicles. And, you know, the state would argue that it is, you know, there was a battery there. They do live together, which makes it the domestic violence. And then there is also a statement that both the victim and the defendant both had stated that the defendant was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when he was born. So there is a disability there.
And I believe there's also more to the disability that he may have some mental health issues as well, Your Honor. When you read the affidavit, he does seem, or he's alleging that he's scared, but there is no indication that what took place happened. It just does not rise to the level of probable cause for arrest.
It's a very low threshold.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I do find that there is probable cause. Let me hear from the victim here in the witness box. Sir, you're going to have to get kind of close to the microphone so we can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Oops. And tell me what your full name is.
Michael R. Kane.
All right. how are you related to Matthew Kane?
I'm his brother.
You're his brother. Are you the older brother or younger brother?
I'm the older one.
All right. So tell me what you would like for me to know about this case.
Well, he's very abusive. He's been abusive, and he's getting more abusive, and he's been threatening me. And he won't let me when we're sitting down at the kitchen table. He won't let me get up from the kitchen table when I want to. You sit down and you shut up and you do what I say, or else I'll break you. And he's going to break me in half. He's going to do bodily harm to me, and he's always been that way.
Sir, are you afraid of your brother?
Yes, I am, and I don't want to. I don't want to be anywhere near him. I don't want him to live with me. I'm deathly scared of him.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. Sir, I know that you're with Mr. Kane. Are you related to this case in any way?
I am the executor to the will from from their deceased father, and that's how my involvement began to come into it.
Okay,
But
tell me
then-
your name before we go further.
Brian Woollett.
Okay.
I'm also a minister at the church that Mike attends, and so I'm affiliated with him through that way as well.
Okay.
And I'm the one that he reached out to when he called me the morning after this happened, and said, I need to talk to you. Can you meet with me for lunch? And I said, I can't meet with you for lunch because I have another appointment, but I can meet with you now. And he said, yes, that'll be fine. And so I went and picked him up, and he did not want to stay in the home, and he was concerned because Matt was asleep, and that's why he could call me. And so we left the property, and he shared that information with me, and then we ran another errand after that. And then after I took him home, I went to the Winter Garden Police Department to find out what I need to do to pursue this. And
Your Honor, he took my phone away from me, and I wasn't able to. He said he was going to put it underwater. He took my Bluetooth that I wear around my neck, and he threw it in the sink. I mean, that's where it landed, in the sink. So, I'm just. I would have had no phone to call, and Your Honor, I wouldn't be able. I was afraid to. I'm afraid to. He wasn't going to let me leave the house. I mean, he won't. You know what I'm saying? When he's in his rage, he's not going to let me leave the house and get help, or he's not going to let me leave. You do what I say, or else I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. That's how he talked to me. I'm going to kill you. And so, I don't want anything to do with him anymore. I want him out of my life. Now, Your Honor.
Thank you very much for explaining that to me.
I'm afraid, Your Honor, if he comes back, he's not. I'm in danger. So I don't want him back.
Why do you say that?
Because he has a bad temper, and when he gets mad, he starts pounding the kitchen table, and and so it's a volatile thing, and I fear for my life now, and that's what I got to look out for in my life. I can't live. I we gotta part ways. Well,
right,
I
thank you very
can't
much.
do that. I can't live in fear.
Yes, sir. Florida statute requires that I consider certain things. I consider nature and circumstances of the offense, statements obtained through witnesses. Mr. Matthew Kane, how long have you lived here in Central Florida?
My whole life, other than 8 years in the military, my whole life.
How old are you?
I'm 52.
Okay, so 44 years you've lived here?
Yeah, I did a lot of, I did a lot of reserves, so I was still here even through the military a lot of time, active reserves and Army and Air Force. But I've never lived other than military base. I never lived anywhere else on my own other than Pine Hills, Ocoee, and now Winter Garden since my dad died.
Have you ever failed to appear in court before?
No,
Do you have any prior convictions?
no.
Your Honor, he keeps calling me a sociopath, and, you know, he screams at me, and I'm just not gonna, I can't take that. I can't live with that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
What kind of work do you do?
On the turnpike, I do, they call it receiving supervisor, but all I'm supervising is boxes, basically, on the turnpike.
How much money do you have in the bank?
Not much. I'd have to look, a few hundred.
State, do you have any questions to ask Mr. Kane? Either Mr. Kane, Michael or Matthew?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I've considered the factors in Florida statute 907.041. And obviously, I have to take into consideration the nature and circumstances of the offense. I have to look also at family ties, their residence and employment, their financial condition. I have to consider, obviously, witnesses and what they have to say. I consider prior conduct of the defendant, whether they have failed to appear before. And I can't keep him in jail without a bond on a charge like this. The law does not allow that. So on count number 1, I'm going to set the bond at $500. On count number 2, I'm going to set the bond at $3,500. Normally, I say no return to the scene of the offense, but I am going to allow you to return one time with law enforcement to get those things that you need,
Yes, ma'am.
because you're not going to be able to stay at that residence.
Correct.
You are not to use any drugs or controlled substances while you are on pretrial release or while you are out on bond.
Yes,
You are
ma'am.
to have no contact with your brother. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You are to make all of your court appearances. You are to stay in contact with your attorney, and you do meet the qualifications for a public defender, and so I'll appoint that office to represent you.
Your Honor, we did qualify for pretrial release. Did you want that as an addition?
I would, yes, as an addition, that would be fine. Thank
I
you.
don't have my glasses right there.
All right. Thank you all very much for coming to testify. Thank you for bringing Mr. Kane, sir.
Sorry.
Next case is Aidens Richelieu. Are, is there a family member out there? No? Are you Edens Richelieu?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Richelieu, you were arrested on a charge of battery by strangulation. Looks like probable cause was previously found in this case. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. The bond in this case will be set at $3,500. Does he qualify for pretrial release?
Yes, he does, Your Honor, straight pretrial release.
All right. Well, you're going to have a bond of $3,500. There's no victim out there. You are to have no contact with the victim. You are not to possess or use any drugs or controlled substances while you are out on bond. You are not to possess or use any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Maintain contact with your attorney. You must make all of your court appearances. And you are not to return to the scene of the offense. If you two share a house, you can return one time with law enforcement to get your things, but you can't stay at the house. All right.
Your Honor, you adding PTI with this
And
bond?
thank you very much. I'm going to add pretrial release
Okay.
in addition to the monetary amount. And I did appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent him. Thank you. All right. Good luck to you, sir. Trevin Butler.
I was going to ask a question. She has her own house, I have my own house. I would like to ask a question now.
I'm sorry?
I would like to ask a question. She have her own house, I have my own house, and
Oh, okay, that's fine.
therefore, is there any way she can leave my house so she can go to her house so I don't have to be on the street?
She needs to leave her house. She needs to leave your house and
Yes.
go to her own house
All
because
right,
y'all
thank
can't have any contact with each
All right,
other.
thank you.
Are you Trevin Butler?
Correct.
Mr. Butler, you were arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery. There's probable cause to support the arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. There's no victim here in this particular case. Your bond in this case will be set at $1,500. You are not to have any controlled substances, possess or use controlled substances unless you have a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with the victim. You are not to return to the scene of the offense. You are to possess no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You must stay in contact with your attorney, and you must make all of your future court appearances.
Your Honor, we did qualify Mr. Butler for straight pretrial release. He only had a petty theft back in 2015, no other arrest.
Do I get to defend myself?
Okay, thank you. But I'm going to do the $1,500 bond in addition to pretrial release.
Okay.
Thank you. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, I don't recall if he lived there or has property, if he could get a one-time return,
Yes,
if he needs to.
Thank you
Your
very
Honor.
much. He needs to get a one-time return with law enforcement to get his personal belongings.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, good luck to you, sir. The next case is Robert Ivanko. Sir, are you Robert Ivanko?
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery. There's probable cause to support this arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond in this case will be set at $1,500. Does he qualify for PTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
I will also place you on pretrial release. You are not to return to the address. I will allow you to return one time to pick up any of your belongings. With law enforcement, you can return. You are not to possess any controlled substance or use any controlled substance without a prescription. You are to have no contact with the victim. You cannot possess or use any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You must maintain contact with your attorney, and you must make all of your court appearances. Any questions about that, sir?
What does this mean? As far as I've got a bond, how much?
Your bond is $1,500 plus pretrial release.
What's the pretrial release is the paperwork signed?
The paperwork you're going to get.
Okay.
All right. Ernest Hurt. Sir, are you Ernest Tyrone Hurt?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's a victim here for this case. Mr. Hurt, you were arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery. There's probable cause to support the arrest. There's a victim present who wishes to speak on the case. You do qualify for the public defender's office, and I will appoint that office to represent you. Ma'am, would you please state your name?
Kiana Johnson.
And Ms. Johnson, how are you related to Mr. Hurt?
It's my boyfriend.
Okay. And what do you want me to know about this particular case?
It was really a misunderstanding. We was arguing and we were kind of loud. So security was called and they asked me that I want to like press charges or anything. I told them I was fine, but they took it into their own hands.
Are you afraid of Mr. Hurt?
No.
Do you want to have contact with him?
Yes.
State or defense, do you have questions for Ms. Johnson?
No questions from the state, Your Honor.
No questions from the defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Hurt, where do you work?
I just started a construction job.
And how long have you lived in Central Florida?
I don't live in Florida. I live in Philadelphia.
And so what brought you to Central Florida?
I was down here for vacation with my girl.
Have you ever failed to appear for court before?
No.
Does he have a prior criminal history?
Your Honor, the only thing we have is he has an out-of-state conviction for a DUI. That was back in 2017. This is the case I was talking about earlier. We did qualify Mr. Hurt for pretrial release. If he does get the pretrial release, we just need to have the verbiage read on the court order to say defendant is authorized to return to their residence out of state if he's given the PTR, accompanied with the bond, if you wish.
All right, I will set the bond at $1,500 with PTR. The defendant is authorized to return to their residence out of state. You are not to possess or use any drugs or controlled substances while you are out on bond. You are to have no hostile contact with your girlfriend. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You must maintain contact with your attorney, and you must appear at all of your court appearances. Any questions about the conditions of your release? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Next case is Jose Moreno. Are you Jose Angel Moreno?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Moreno, you were charged with battery. Okay, if I missed it, I'm okay with y'all telling me. But I see PC for an attempted battery.
That is exactly what I was going
Okay.
to object to, but and I had let the state know.
All right. Ms. Bloxer, it's on you now. 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 minds want to know, do you see a battery charge?
Your Honor, the state would ask if I can have a 24-hour reset to try to reach out to the officer. I know at the end of the report, it says that he was arrested for attempted battery, but then the charge on the first page is regular battery. So I would ask for a 24-hour reset to try to get that addressed.
Can I give you a 30-minute recess? Like, can you email the, this is what I wish. I wish you could email the officer right quick, because wouldn't it be awful for the man to sit in jail just for the officer to tell you, oh man, God dog, I wrote the wrong thing down.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not like it's not like you're talking about a burglary and, oh, wait, I forgot about the supplemental report. This very well could be the man wrote down battery and just messed it up. And I know the statute says, if you ask, I gotta give it to you.
Your Honor, we did qualify Mrs. Marino for a straight pretrial release.
Yeah, but she asked, and I just want her to just reach out and touch somebody's hand.
For a whole day.
Call the agent. Please and thank you. We're gonna come back to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You're just gonna go back.
Okay.
And they're gonna come back to you. Ashley Thomas. No, that ain't the right one. It's, Rolanda Teresias. And Ms. Blotz, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I really do think it's just, he typed the wrong thing.
I do agree with you, Your Honor. I mean, reading the report, it's an attempted battery. I'm gonna try to email the officer and see if he replies.
Okay,
We'll
thank you.
Cross our fingers.
Cross our fingers, all right. Are you Rolanda Teresias?
Yes. Yes.
I might be saying your last name wrong.
Yes.
Okay, I need you to speak up just a little bit louder. All right, and there's a victim over there. You've been arrested on a charge of battery. There's probable cause to support the arrest. There's a victim here, sir. Please state your full name.
Michael St. Cruz.
Say it.
Michael St. Cruz.
Spell your last name.
C-L-E-U-S.
And you can get a little closer to the microphone.
C-L-E-U-S.
Oh, good, thank you. Sir, how are you related to the defendant?
She's my girlfriend.
You can't talk as soft as me. How are you related to the How are you related to the defendant?
She's my girlfriend.
Okay. She's saying girlfriend. Yes. That's my bad ear. The right ear is my bad ear. Okay. What would you like to tell me?
I didn't want all that to happen because she didn't scratch me on purpose.
It was an accident?
Yeah, I didn't even want her to come in. I told the officer that she didn't do it on purpose, but he told me since we've been together for almost 2 years, they have to take her with them.
Okay. Are you scared of her?
Not at all.
Do you want to have contact with her?
Yes.
Okay. Does she qualify? Straight pretrial release. All right, let's put her on straight pretrial release. No other conditions, just no hostile contact. That'll be fine. No, there was no sheet. There was no sheet. All right. Thank you very much, sir. You're free to go. Ashley Thomas? Is there a victim for Ashley Thomas?
I think they're all one, Judge.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right. Ms. Thomas, you were arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Does she have a PD form and that stuff? Does she qualify?
Yes, Your Honor.
You had contact with the victim?
Yes, and he advised that he is not coming to court. But she does have an address, an alternate address.
Okay, and he's not coming to court?
Correct.
All right, so I'm going to place you on pretrial release. You do qualify. You are to have no hostile contact with the victim.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
I have have Hannah Bahari or Bahari. Are you Hannah Bahari?
Yes.
Ms. Bahari, you have 2 cases that you've been arrested on. Both of them are home invasion robberies with a firearm. The first home invasion robbery charge is 2020 CF 9720 AO. Probable cause has been previously found. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Thank you.
Your bond in that case will be set at $15,000. You are
Okay.
not to return to the scene of the offense. You are not to use or possess any controlled substance without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with the witnesses or the victims or any co-defendants. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You must stay in contact with your attorney and make all of your court appearances.
Okay.
In case number 2020 CF 10342 AO, probable cause has been previously found in your case. I will appoint the public defender in this case as well.
Thank you.
Your bond will be set at $15,000. You are not to return to the scene of the offense. You are not to possess or use any controlled substances without a valid prescription. You will have no contact with the co-defendant, victim, or witnesses in this case. You shall possess no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You shall maintain contact with your attorney, and you shall also make all of your court appearances.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
The next one is Jamal Bridges.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Bridges, you are here on, sir, you were probable cause was previously found on 2 charges: possession of a concealed weapon by a convicted felon and possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. Your bond will be stayed at $5,000 and $1,000 respectively. Sir, you are not to return to the scene of the offense. You are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with any witnesses in this case. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You do not qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office, so you will have to have an attorney determination at your arraignment, and you must make all of your court appearances.
All right, ma'am. Do I have any holds?
Yes. He does have a 5-day hold for probation, a violent felony of special concern. So
Okay.
we have to wait 5 days for the probation to authorize a warrant.
Okay, so yes, sir, you do have
Yeah.
a hold on you.
All righty.
Thank you. Timothy Carter. Mr. Carter, you were arrested on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Who?
You were arrested on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Who that is?
Are you Timothy Carter?
No.
Okay. well,
Oh, no.
He said, what? His eyes are like this big.
He's behavior, Your Honor. He's like,
What?
okay. All right, so I will see him tomorrow then.
Prom.
Oh, Mr. Crum, I see why you were shocked. Okay. Mr. Crum.
What?
You were arrested on a charge of grand theft and petty theft. Okay, then. Yeah. Okay, so on your petty theft charge, there's probable cause to support the arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office in both of your cases. Your bond amount in the petty theft will be reduced to $500. You are not to return to the scene. You are not to possess or use any controlled substances while you are out on bond. You are to have no contact with the witnesses in this case. You cannot possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You must stay in contact with your attorney, and you must also make all of your court appearances.
Is that a misdemeanor? That
This charge here is not a misdemeanor, it's a felony, it's a third-degree felony.
okay.
And then the next one is also a third-degree felony, it's a grand theft charge. There's probable cause to support that arrest. I have appointed the public defender's office in this case. Your bond is going to be set at $2,000. You are not to return to the scene in this case. You are to have, you are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances. You are to have no contact with any victim or witnesses. You cannot possess any weapons or firearms. This one. Hold on just a second. You cannot possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Stay in contact with your lawyer, make all of your court appearances. The bond amount will be reduced to $1,000. I didn't mean to say $2,000. It needs to be $1,000 on the grand theft and $500 on the petty theft. 1,000 grand theft, 500 on the petty theft. Thank you, ma'am. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Crum. Next one is Alex Dorval.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, Mr. Dorval, probable cause was previously found on your case. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Counsel, you might need to make note, the co-defendant was also appointed the public defender's office, so you might have you do have a
We have a
conflict,
conflict.
so you're going to have to get off one of the cases.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right. But for the time being, the public defender's office will be appointed to represent you. There is probable cause that's previously been found in this case. Your bond in this case will be set at $20,000. You are not to return to the scene of the offense. You are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances while you are out on bond. You are to have no contact with the victim or witnesses in this case. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You must maintain contact with your attorney, and you must make all of your court appearances. Good luck to you, Mr. Dorval.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Chamira Edwards?
She bonded.
She bonded. And Marcus Atkins?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Atkins, you were arrested on a charge of grand theft, third degree with a motor vehicle. I find probable cause state only as to a trespass in an unoccupied conveyance. I don't see any proof that he stole a car. I see proof that he was found in a stolen car. But there's no proof of a grand theft. There's no evidence, PC, nothing of a grand theft. So I'll find probable cause as to trespass in a conveyance.
Okay, Your Honor, the state would ask for a 24-hour reset to try to get a supplemental from the officer.
Okay. I'll give you 24 hours. Huh?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I'll give you the 24 hours. But no, I can't. How? Okay. Okay. Well, this bond is currently set at $1,000.
You're gonna leave it there?
I'll just leave it set at that. Public Defender's Office is appointed. Okay. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you. That's how you did it. Larry Griffin?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Griffin. Mr. Griffin, you were arrested on a charge of burglary of an unoccupied conveyance and resisting an officer without violence, and there's probable cause to support your arrest, so I'll stay your bonds at the dollar amounts of $1,000 and $100. You were out on bond when you got these charges, and you were out on bond in case number 2020 CF 683 and 2020 CF 11330. So your bonds in both of those cases are going to be revoked and set at none. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you in your new case.
I ain't got no bonds?
In the cases that you had bonded out on before, and the one you had bonded out on those other cases, and because you got arrested on this new case for burglary and resisting, I revoked the bonds on the other cases. Because you can't get arrested, sir, when you're out on bond.
So what I got to do?
Talk to your lawyer, and they can tell you what you really need to do.
Yeah.
I can't bond out?
No, sir.
I can't bond out?
I'm gonna have the attorney call you, okay, and polycom with you. Your Honor, may I get the case numbers again? I apologize.
Yes, ma'am. The case numbers are 2020 CF 11330. That's the new case? Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay, Your Honor.
2020 CF 683.
There was just one, Your Honor?
This is just the one.
Oh, okay.
So can how I get it restated, ma'am?
We're gonna talk to you about that, how to
You're
get
gonna
it
talk to your
reinstated.
lawyer.
We're gonna help you get it reinstated, okay?
Is he in my division?
It's gonna be okay.
That's not a Division 15 case, is it? Huh? Is the one that he's out on bond a Division 15 case? Oh, okay. Well, then he should be able to get out then. That's good. Are you Marvin Jackson?
Now,
Okay, Mr. Jackson, you were arrested on a charge of possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, and you were also arrested on basically a paraphernalia charge, and there's probable cause to support the arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bonds are going to be set at $500 and $100 respectively. Count 1 is 500, count 2 is 100. And while you're out on bond, you can't use any other drugs, can't possess any, you can't use any other drugs, you can't have any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You must stay in contact with your attorney, and you must make sure you go to court.
no.
All right, good luck to you. Are you McEarl Deramus Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, you were arrested on a charge of sale and delivery of cocaine. Probable cause had previously been found on your case. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Your bond in this case will be set at $15,000. You are not to return to the scene of the arrest. You are not to possess or use any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with any witnesses or co-defendants. You cannot possess or use a firearm, weapon, or ammunition. You must maintain contact with your attorney and make sure you make all of your court appearances. Good luck to you, sir. Are you Keitha Lampkins?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lampkins, you were arrested on charges of trafficking in a controlled substance greater than 4 grams, possession of oxycodone, possession of cocaine, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of cannabis, less than 20 grams, and possession of a place or structure known to manufacture drugs. There's probable cause to support the arrest on all of the charges. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. The bonds on count 1 are to be stayed at $100,000. Count 2 is $150. Count 3 is $150. Count 4 is $1,000. Count 5 is $150. Count 6 is $150.
Excuse me, ma'am. The first bond is how much?
$100,000.
For
As a condition, you are not to return to the scene of the offense. You are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with any co-defendants or witnesses. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You must maintain contact with your attorney, and you must make all of your court appearances. In your next case, sale and delivery of cocaine, there's a factual basis to support probable cause for the arrest. The Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you on that case as well. Your bond in that case will be set at $7,500. You are not to return to the scene of the offense. You are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. No contact with any victims or defendants in the case. No weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Stay in contact with your attorney and make all of your court appearances. Good luck to you, sir. Javier Medina. Are you Javier Medina?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Medina, you have a charge. You've been arrested on petty theft with 2 prior convictions. You were arrested on a capias. Your bond is set at $2,500.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so you're welcome, sir. Hold on.
He's out on bond.
He was out on bond on these cases, but it's not like a new law offense.
She gave bond on that one. She's gotta finish, and then I'll.
Okay, so he was out on bond on 3 other cases, but this isn't a new law offense. It's just a capias on a new.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you, sir. Public Defender's Office is appointed. I don't know if I said that, but PD's office is appointed on Mr. Medina's case. No, because that's all it said. That's all the capias said. It's just a $2,500 bond. Oh, no contact with the victim, and don't return to the scene. That was it.
Your Honor, you take no action on the out on bond cases? No
Yes,
action?
ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mitchum? Are you Munda Jarek Atwan Mitchum?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you've been arrested on a charge of destruction of evidence, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause to support the arrest. The bonds will be stayed at $1,000 on the destruction of evidence charge, $100 on the paraphernalia charge, and $100 on the cannabis charge. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You must not return to the scene. Don't possess any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription, and you can't have any contact with any witnesses or co-defendants on the case. Sir, you cannot possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Stay in contact with your lawyer and make sure you make all of your court appearances. While you were out on bond in case number 19 CF 13124AO, you got arrested on these charges, so your bond in that case will be revoked. The bond will be set at none on both of those charges.
Look, we're gonna have to handle it after.
I know, but can I have a job. Can I speak, please? Ma'am, can I speak, please?
I'm going to advise you not to.
I wouldn't say anything right now. We're gonna help you with it. I know.
Just wait until you can talk to your attorney.
I know, but I have a job, and you taking the bond on that case, I can't go to work.
You need to speak with your attorney, okay? The next case is Miss Jennifer Murphy.
Your Honor, she's mental health.
She bonded?
No, she's mental health, Your Honor.
Oh, mental health. What are they doing with the mental health cases? Resetting? Let me just reset it for tomorrow and I'll figure out what to do later on tonight. Oh, what is this? Okay. Well, let's go back to this lady here, Miss Murphy. Okay, so they're not resetting it for mental health. So I guess they're just doing the initial appearance anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
They've been doing.
All right. So on Jennifer Marie Murphy, she was arrested on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. There's probable cause to support the arrest. It has previously been determined, probable cause has previously been determined. Her bond in that case will be set at $1,500. She's not to return to the scene. She's not to possess any drugs while on bond, have no contact with the victim or witnesses, not possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. And in her other case, violation of a condition of her pretrial release, her bond is set at $500. She's to have the same conditions: no return, no drugs while on, no drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription, no contact with the defendant, with the victim or witnesses, no firearms, weapons, or ammunition. And on Anthony Ogle,
Yes,
are
ma'am.
you Mr. Ogle?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, on your case, the bondsman came off the bond on your case.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Hold on, so your new bond amount will just be set at $1,000? Yes.
Apparently what happened with the bondsman, they said that whoever said I was living at the house said I wasn't living there, but I am. So about this whole situation about bonding out, other bondsmen are telling me that I won't be able to bond out because of this situation. But in the household that I have on record, I have all my stuff there still, and I'm still receiving letters, so I technically still live there. So how can I go about this?
Did you have an attorney assigned to represent you?
No, ma'am.
Did you hire an attorney to represent you?
I was planning on hiring an attorney for this case, yes. And I talked to him already about it the day before I got arrested.
Oh.
And I also talked to my bondsman who told me I wasn't supposed to be getting arrested today, or yesterday.
The best I can tell you, sir, is you need to talk to your attorney who represents you on this matter. So that's the first thing that you need to do, is you need to find an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, I will appoint one to represent you. And you might need to consider that. I mean, the public defender has great attorneys. They went to law school, they have taken the bar, they've passed the bar, they work just as hard, if not harder, than the ones that you pay. But for whatever reason, Tanya, You can do what you want to do with your money. But if you don't have it, it would be wise if you filled out a form to see if you qualify for the public defender's office. But that's on you. I've got to go on to the next gentleman,
Yes, ma'am.
Tyler Waters. Are you Tyler Nathan Waters?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you were arrested on a charge of dealing in stolen property, false verification of ownership. Probable cause has previously been found. The bond in this case is set at $20,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you.
Yes, ma'am.
As a condition of your bond, you are not to return to the scene. You are to possess no drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with any victims, witnesses of your case. You cannot possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Stay in contact with your attorney and make all of your court appearances. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay.
Amber Rose Woolery? Are you Amber Rose Woolery?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You were arrested on a charge of burglary of a conveyance and criminal mischief. There is probable cause to support the arrest. Your bonds will be stayed at $3,500 and $100 respectively. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You are not to return to the scene. You cannot possess or use any drugs while you're on bond. You cannot have any contact with any victims,
That's not my charge, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
That's not my charge.
Burglary of a conveyance and criminal mischief.
My charge is criminal mischief, that's all.
No, your charge is burglary of a conveyance.
I'm on ROR.
Okay, she's done.
Yeah.
She's not to possess or use any drugs or controlled substances while she's out on bond. Have no contact with the victim, witnesses, or co-defendants. She cannot possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. She must maintain contact with her attorney, and she must make all of her court appearances. Any word from the attorney on Mr. Moreno? From the agent on Mr. Moreno?
Let me see, give me 1 second. I have a new email. I'm just
Okay,
waiting.
just checking. Dontavius Smith? Okay, I'll take that as a waiver. The defendant was arrested on a failure to appear. His bond in that case was set at $1,000. The court will take no action on the misdemeanor case 2020 MM 7780. The next case I have is Ladarius Belgrave.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Belgrave, you have a new law arrest of driving while license suspended with knowledge.
Yes,
There's
ma'am.
probable cause to support that arrest. The Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you. Your bond in this case will be set at $500. You are not to drive until you get a valid driver's license. You can't use or possess any drugs or controlled substances unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Stay in contact with your lawyer and make all of your court appearances.
Yes, ma'am.
In case 19 CF 1103280, the defendant was out on bond for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He was arrested for a new law offense. The bond in that case will be revoked. The new bond will be set at none. Good luck to you, Mr. Belgrave.
Yes, ma'am.
Christopher Michael Cox.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Cox, you were arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended or revoked. Probable cause supports that arrest. The bond is set at $1,000. You do not qualify for the services of the public defender, so you will need to hire an attorney to represent you. And you need to make sure you have your attorney on board well before your arraignment date. As a condition of your bond, you need to make sure that you do not drive unless and until you get a valid driver license. You can't possess or use any drugs unless you have a valid prescription. No firearms, no weapons, no ammunition while you're on bond. Make sure you make all of your court appearances as well. Stay in contact with your attorney when you hire one or when the public defender is appointed to represent you.
Okay.
Good luck to you. Tamika Johnson. All right. Are you Tamika Lawana Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Johnson, you were arrested on fraud or false information given to a law enforcement officer. There's probable cause to support the arrest in that case. The Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you. Your bond will be set at $500. You cannot have any drugs or controlled substances unless you have a valid prescription. You cannot have any firearms, weapons, or ammunition while you're out on bond. Stay in contact with your lawyer and make sure you make all of your court appearances. You are out on bond in case number 19 CF 1960AO for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a controlled substance, and providing false ID to a law enforcement officer. Oops, nope, there's one other charge. The other charge, let me go back. The other charge is no valid driver license. There is probable cause to support that charge. The bond in that case will be set at $500. No other conditions. As I stated earlier, you were out on bond when you were arrested on the new law offenses. Your bond in the new case will be revoked as to each count, and the new bond will be set at none as to each count.
So I have no bond?
You have no bond on the new charge, on the 2019 case. You have a bond on the new charges. There are 2 new charges that you have a bond on.
So how do I get a bond back on those charges?
You can get a bond on the new charges, but when you get a new arrest when you're out on bond, your bond is revoked and your bond is set at none. You need to speak with your attorney about that.
What about getting me a bond?
I'm sorry?
You said speak to my attorney about the other case?
You need to talk to your attorney about all of your cases. Jorge Morales.
I'll let your attorney know, and they'll be in contact with you, okay?
Jorge Morales. Is that you?
Let me see, Ron, let me see if he bonded. Yeah, I'm trying to see if he booked. Ron, you have a booking number?
Yes.
20585, he bonded.
Okay.
He bonded.
The next one is Bruce Patrick Smith. Is that you?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Smith, you were arrested on a charge of DUI. There's probable cause to support that arrest. The Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you. The bond in your case will be set at $1,500. While you are out on bond, you are not to possess any drugs or use any drugs or alcohol or a controlled substance while you are out on bond. You cannot use that controlled substance unless you have a valid prescription. You cannot drive without a valid driver license. You cannot possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Stay in contact with your lawyer and make sure you make all of your court appearances.
Ron, we did qualify, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, for straight pretrial release, he has no priors?
Okay, but he's not gonna be on pretrial release for this.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Misdemeanor pleables. He does not qualify. All right, I next need Alcides Cabrera. Mr. Cabrera, you have been arrested on a charge of battery, and there's probable cause to support this arrest. I will appoint the no, I can't. You do not qualify for the Public Defender's Office, sir, so you're going to have to hire an attorney to represent you. Make sure your attorney is on board well before your arraignment date that you'll see on your paperwork. The bond in this case will be set at $500. When you bond out, you cannot return to the scene of the offense. You cannot possess any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription, have no contact with the victim, possess no firearms, weapons, or ammunition, stay in contact with the attorney, either the one you hire or the public defender if the PD's office is appointed, and make sure you make all of your court appearances. Good luck to you.
Okay.
Next case is John Clark Dalby.
Dalby?
Okay, Mr. Dalby, you were arrested on a charge of battery. There's probable cause to support this arrest. Your attorney's determination will be made at arraignment. The bond will be set at $500. In addition to that, you are to have no contact with the victim or co-defendant or witnesses. You are not to possess, use any controlled substances while you are out on bond. You cannot have any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Make sure you stay in contact with your attorney, either the one you hire or the public defender's office, and make sure you come to all of your court appearances.
Yeah, I was just representing myself.
Okay, you'll deal with that with your judge.
All right.
All right, I have Jolene Marquin,
What was the bond? I'm sorry.
500.
Okay.
Hello.
Are you Jolene?
Yes.
Are you Jolene Audria Marquin?
Yes, I am.
Miss Marquin, how old are you?
42 years old.
Okay, how far did you go in school?
Some college.
Okay. Are you under the influence today of any drugs, medicine, or alcohol?
No.
Has anyone Do you have any kind of mental condition that would make you confused or not be able to think clearly today?
No.
No? All right then. You have been arrested on a charge of resisting an officer without violence. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Your bond in this case will be set at $500. Your attorney will be determined at your arraignment. As a condition of your bond, does she qualify for pretrial release?
Ron, she's out on bond for petty theft.
I'm not, I just take the jail time. The time served.
Did you make an offer to her?
The state didn't have an offer, Your Honor. I have two different cases, or two separate charges, and one is a battery, so I would need to be able to make contact with the victim before an
I
offer can
have
be made.
resisting and a battery.
Yeah.
So, okay.
There's no on the
So
resistance.
there's only one charge that she has an offer on. You still have to make bond on the battery charge, which is $500. And then there's the petty theft that you were
I
out
just
on.
take the jail time.
You know what? Hey, I tell you what I think is best.
Yeah.
And I think what's best for you is for you to look at all of your cases, sit down with an attorney, and talk about all of your cases. No need for you to jump and do a plea on one case, and then you probably shouldn't have done it because you got to sit in jail for a little bit anyway.
Well, he attacked me, and
No,
I tried to tell the
Don't talk
cops.
about your case. I tell you what I'm gonna do. We're just gonna, for this one, I know I don't have a sheet.
Yeah.
I know.
But
Because I
I'm
just don't
going
have
to
the money
appoint
to pay back the bond.
a
I
public
don't feel
defender
like
to
doing it.
represent her. I don't have a form.
We worked that out. It's been happening.
Okay.
All along, so we caught it. We're now moving forward, even if it gets appointed without the form.
So let me just go through what I have. On the resisting without violence, the bond is set at $500. She can't use any drugs while out. She can't have any guns, weapons, or ammunition. She can, those are the only two. On the battery charge, bond is $500. No contact with the victim. No drugs or controlled substances while she's out. No firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Now here, while she was out on bond, in case number 2020 CF 1142AO. She committed those 2 new law offenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
So her bond is going to be revoked on that charge, and the new bond is set at none. So you'll know where she is, and she'll be able to find
Absolutely.
her. Okay.
I'm not bonding out.
Okay, no, no, ma'am, you're not. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
it.
your attorney's going to sit down and talk with you about all of that.
Okay.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out.
All right, so thank you very much, Ms. Mara Quinn. All right. Kimberly Wilzinski.
Wilzinski, yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Wilzinski, you have been arrested on a charge of alcohol possession in a public place. There's probable cause to support the arrest. State, do you have an offer?
Your Honor, the state would offer an adjudication and 2 days Orange County Jail.
So how much time she has? 2. Okay. Do you want to accept that offer?
2 days in jail? Yes.
Okay. Do you have a plea form?
May I? Your Honor?
Mm-hmm.
Are you currently on probation? No. No probation. Are you a U.S. citizen? No.
Oh, they don't do plea form? Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, just right there.
All right. All right. Ma'am, state your full name, please. Miss Wazinski, state your full, tell me your full name.
Oh, Kimberly Devin Wilzinski.
Okay, and how old are you?
42?
How far have you gone in school?
11th grade.
Okay, and do you want to enter a plea today?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No.
Has anyone forced you, threatened you in any way to get you to plea?
No.
And do you have any kind of mental illness that would make you confused or not understand what you're doing?
No, ma'am.
Are you thinking clearly?
Yes.
All right, then. By entering a plea today, if you're not a U.S. citizen, you will be subjected to deportation proceedings. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you're on probation for anything, this plea will be used to violate your probation and to prove the violation. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you enter this plea, you're not going to have a trial. Got it?
Right.
All right, so if you don't have a trial, that also means that you're not going to be able to testify at a trial. You're not going to be able to exercise a right to remain silent. You're not going to be able to question the state's witnesses. You're not going to be able to call your own witnesses. And you're not going to be able to require the state to prove that you're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand you're giving up all of those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then. The maximum penalty for this charge is 60 days in jail, a $500 fine, and 6 months of probation. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, that's not the sentence you're going to get today. I'm going to sentence you to the offer that the state made. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are you relying on any other promises that it might have been made to you
No, ma'am.
by entering a plea today?
Yeah, no, I'm just doing the best thing for me.
All right, then. So a plea of guilty admits to the crime, and a plea of not guilty denies the crime, and the plea of no contest says, I don't admit or deny, I just want to enter a plea in my best interest.
Right.
I've already reviewed the affidavit, so there's a factual basis to accept your plea. How do you plead to this charge?
Guilty.
Guilty? I'll accept that guilty plea. Find that you're entering it freely and voluntarily, making a knowing and intelligent waiver of your rights, and you understand the consequences. I will adjudicate you guilty, order that you serve 2 days in Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I will impose court costs, but I will reduce that to a civil judgment.
Okay.
You have 30 days to appeal, and if you need an attorney, I will appoint one to represent you for purposes of the appeal. Any questions?
No.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next case I have is Angel Tyrone Canales.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Canales, you have been arrested on a warrant out of Marion County. The bond in your case is set at $1,000.
Okay.
That's it. Good luck to you. Blake Hamilton?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Hamilton, you have been arrested on 3 warrants out of Osceola County. Failure to return a hired car. The bond is set at $1,000. The bond on the VOP for obtaining unemployment assistance by fraud is set at none. The bond for the grand theft VOP is also set at none. Good luck to you, sir. Maurice Howard. Mr. Howard, is that your name, Maurice?
Yes, ma'am.
Maurice, B2 Howard?
EB2 Howard.
Okay. Sir, you were arrested on an out-of-county warrant out of Osceola County. The bond in your case is set at $2,999. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry, the last guy that was just before us, Blake Hamilton, how many out-of-county warrants did you have?
He had 3.
Because I have 5. I have one, I'm sorry. Let me just pull this back up, because I'm reading 5. I don't have the actual file in front of me. I'm just reading what I have here on,
Okay. 1, 2.
we have one us, we have one,
Are these 2 separate cases?
2 separate cases.
No, those 2 right there, that's the same case. They have the same case number. And then this one here is the failure to return the hired vehicle.
Right.
So the VOP, that paperwork is duplicated.
Okay.
One is a VOP, one is a FTA. That's what it said on the sheet.
I'm seeing a case number of 20 CF 2599 out of Osceola for the failure to return hired vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Are you Francisco Perez Vasquez? Nope.
He's medical.
He what?
He's medical.
Medical. Medical. What do they do for medical? Let me see. Behavior, mental health. We are not resetting. Okay, this is a reset. Yeah, she said we are not resetting unless the individual is in the hospital. Medical is different? Oh. Medical is medical. Okay, well. Okay, so, all right, so Francisco Perez Vasquez has an out-of-county warrant in Osceola County. There are 3 counts. The bond is $100,000 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2, $100 on count number 3. And then he was, well, it doesn't look like it's a new law offense, so I'm not going to take any action on the 2020 CF 9490AO case. All right. Freddie Reed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Reed, you were arrested on an out-of-county warrant out of Seminole County. The judge in Seminole County set your bond at none. Ray Stiles, good luck to you, sir. Ray Stiles?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were arrested on an out-of-county warrant out of Lake County. The judge in Lake County set your bond at $2,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Antonio Tuck.
He's the behavior, Your Honor.
All right, for Mr. Tuck, he was arrested on a Miami-Dade warrant. His bond is set at $9,999. Alexander Ward,
Medical, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ward was arrested on an out-of-county warrant out of Miami-Dade. His bond is set at none. Gloria Wilson. All right, Ms. Wilson, you were arrested on a on a warrant out of Osceola County, and the judge in Osceola set your bond at none. Good luck to you. And then I have Edgar Rivera. Edgar Rivera. I have a Joseph before Edgar. Did you give me that?
It's a VOP.
I have Edgar and Mr. Moreno's left. For Mr. Moreno.
Your Honor, I did hear back from the officer for Mr. Moreno.
And he wrote down the wrong stuff, didn't he?
He did, yes.
You can look through this, but Brendan Joseph? Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Joseph, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of community control.
Yes, ma'am.
And your warrant in this case, the bond in this case, the judge set it at none.
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Okay?
I have a job and I just started living on my own, and I don't know if it's possible, but I'd really appreciate a bond so that I can keep my job and pay my bills.
I understand that, sir, and I can appreciate that you want to keep your job and you want to pay your bills. It's just that Judge O'Kane has stated that the bond on this case should be none because it's a violation of community control or violation of your probation. Because of your status as a violent felony offender of special concern, this is something that she's going to have to take care of herself. Or at least I think this is something that she should take care of herself. So if I were you, I would get in contact with my attorney as soon as possible. And you don't qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office, so I would get someone on board as soon as possible so that they can file whatever appropriate motion so that you could go before Judge O'Kane.
I can't afford an attorney.
According to what you've put on your sheet, you don't qualify for the services. So I can't appoint an attorney if you don't qualify.
So can you put me down for pro se? Because I can't afford an attorney. There's no way.
Okay. Well, right now you are pro se, but at arraignments, it'll be reconsidered at your arraignment, okay?
And Your Honor, he does have reporting requirements, so once he relieves the jail, he needs to report his current address to the local authorities and DMV.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Edgar Rivera,
Do I have a court date or anything? And
it'll be on your paperwork, sir.
okay.
Mr. Rivera, you have been arrested on a violation of probation. The court set your warrant at no, or set your bond at none.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Your Honor, he also has reporting requirements, so he needs to report his address to the local authorities and
Yes,
DMV
yes,
once
ma'am. Yeah,
released.
yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay? Well done. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Moreno? All right. Combination. So, Mr. Moreno,
Yes, ma'am.
there's probable cause for an attempted battery in your case. The bond in your case is gonna be set at $250. And you're to have no hostile contact with the victim.
Okay.
And you can't use any drugs, or you can't have any hostile contact, you can't have any firearms, weapons, or ammunition while you're out on bond.
Well, I'm sorry. While I'm out, what, miss?
While you're out on bond.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
we did qualify Mr. Marino for pretrial release.
Okay, well, then you're gonna be on pretrial release then.
What is that, ma'am? I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with that.
You're going to be, you don't have to pay any money to get out,
Huh?
but you do have to, you will have conditions, meaning
Okay.
you can't have.
Oh, I
any-
understand. I think the guy.
firearm,
Yes, ma'am.
You
I
can't
remember
have
now.
weapons.
Okay.
You wanna listen at me, because you mess around and do something that I tell you not to do, you gonna be right back here with no bond, and you could be messed up. So no firearms, no weapons, no ammunition, no hostile contact with the victim in this case.
Okay.
Did y'all live together?
At one point, I don't live there anymore. I haven't lived there for at least a year or two.
All right, then, well, don't go back.
Of course not.
And that's it. And you'll report to pretrial release.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go to court. Don't miss court. See, that's something else. He didn't even hear me when I said it, but I said it. And what I say rules. All right, so we are done. 2:15. Oops.
Good morning, Your Honor. We can hear you great.
Okay, great. Are we going to need the interpreter today?
No, Your Honor, we're not going to need. Oh, we do have one? Yes, Your Honor. Oh, yes, Your Honor. We'll need the interpreter for one case.
Okay. When we get to that case, would you just let me know?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so we're going to go on and start with Jeffrey Bull. Is Mr. Bull available, or did he refuse?
Your Honor, yes, he needs to be reset.
I couldn't hear you. Did you say he needs to be reset?
Yes, that's what the correction staff informed me.
That's for reset for tomorrow then. Cadero Burns. Sir, are you Cadero Burns?
Yes. They got me mixed up with another guy they tried to charge me with a charge with in 2017.
What's your full name?
Cardell Robert Burns.
I
seen an image on Facebook. It's the same guy they thought I was in 2017. They had arrested me for and let me right go when they seen
Are
the
you
difference.
Cadero Robert Burns?
Yes.
Is your birthday December 6, 1989?
Yes.
You've been arrested on a charge of burglary to an occupied structure and petty theft.
Yeah,
There's
that's what they
probable cause
arrested
to
me for,
support, there's probable cause to support the arrest. Do you want me to appoint does he qualify for the public defender?
Your Honor, he's not been able to fill out, and nor has anyone else here been able to fill out a public defender application because there aren't any here at the jail today. Could you inquire into his status to see if he qualifies?
So what date are you all setting those for? Do you have is there a specific date that you are setting those, like a determination of council hearing date? No. Well, then it'll just have to be determined at the arraignment date, whatever date that'll be set.
Okay. All right. That'll be the case for all of the people today, then, Your Honor.
Okay, then. The bond is set on the first count, it'll be stayed at $5,000, stayed on count number 2 at $500. The next case is Benjamin
Here,
Chirilla.
Talk to him soon.
Benjamin Chirilla.
They're wheeling him up right now, Your Honor.
Are you Benjamin Chirilla?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were arrested on an out-of-county warrant out of Polk County, Florida. The arrest warrant is for unarmed burglary of an occupied dwelling and aggravated stalking following harassment, cyber harassment causing injury or death, with 2 counts of that. The bond is set at none. Good luck to you, sir. The next case is David Colon de Jesus. Are you David Colon de Jesus?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were arrested on a violation of probation and community control. The bond in this case is set at none. And the violation is on a charge of possession of heroin, less than 10 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Good luck to you, sir. The next case is Brentley Raymond Cummings. Are you Brentley Raymond Cummings?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were arrested on a violation of probation or community control warrant. The bond on your case is set at none. And the violation is on a charge of violation of a domestic violence injunction. Good luck to you, sir.
Well, I violated my...
And there's another one. And sir, there's a second one as well. There's a second one for violation of community control. Bond is set at none, and it too is out of Osceola County. And that's in a separate case, 19 MM 320. Good luck to you, sir. Wayne Davis.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well, sir. Thank you. How are you? All right, Mr. Davis, well, first let me ask you this. Are you Wayne Ronald Davis?
Yes.
All right. Sir, you were arrested on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without an intent to kill, the weapon being a firearm. There is probable cause to support the arrest. Your bond will be set at $3,500. Is there a victim who wishes to speak on this case? I see none. You are not to return to the scene. You are not to possess any controlled substances without a prescription. You are to have no contact with the victim or witnesses in this case. You are to possess no firearms, ammunition, or any other weapons. And you are to make all of your court appearances. An attorney will be determined at your arraignment.
Okay.
Good luck to you, sir. Vincent
So
Duncan.
the bond set at 3,500?
Yes, sir. Your Honor, he needs to be reset.
What's the purpose for his reset? Oh, I see.
I believe he's in
Okay.
detox.
He'll be reset for tomorrow if he's out.
Duncan?
He's
Oh, he's in the hospital.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's in the hospital, Your Honor, not detox.
Hector Esparra.
Yes, this one will need the translator, Your Honor.
Your Honor, good morning. For the record, Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. If the interpreter could request the spelling of the last name of this defendant, please.
Esparra.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Are you Hector Escarra?
Usted, señor Héctor Esparra?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
Sir, you were arrested on 3 charges.
Usted fue arrestado en 3 cargos.
Possession of a controlled substance without a prescription.
Posesión de sustancia controlada sin tener receta.
Possession of drug paraphernalia.
Posesión de parafernalia de drogas.
And providing a false name or ID by an arrestee.
Y entregarle un nombre falso o identificación falsa por parte de un arrestado.
There is probable cause to support the arrest.
Existe motivo fundado para apoyar el arresto.
The bond on count 1 will be reduced to $1,500.
La fianza en el primer cargo será reducida a $1,500.
The bonds on counts 2 and 3 will be reduced to $150.
Y las fianzas en el segundo y tercer cargo serán reducidas a $150.
Sir, while you are out on bond, you are to possess no controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Mientras que esté fuera bajo libertad, no puede poseer sustancias controladas que no tenga receta.
You shall possess no firearms, weapons, or guns,
No puede poseer armas de fuego,
or ammunition,
municiones, armas blancas o pistolas.
and you are to make all of your court appearances.
Y tiene que comparecer a todas sus fechas de comparecencia.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero.
Your attorney determination will be determined at your arraignment.
La determinación de abogado será hecho en la lectura de cargos. Your Honor, the interpreter can inquire from counsel at Osceola if he has a case number for this defendant.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I just need a case number from counsel at Osceola.
There isn't a case
There isn't a
number.
case number yet? All right, thank
No,
you, Your
sir.
Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Cheryl Furlong. Are you Cheryl Ann Furlong?
Yes, I am.
Ms. Furlong, you have been arrested on a charge of trespass on property, not a structure or a conveyance. It is supported by probable cause. Your bond is going to be stayed at $500. As a condition of your bond, you are not to return to the scene. You are to possess no controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition, and you are to make all of your court appearances. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Your Honor, I don't know if the court would entertain this, but PTR tells me she does qualify for direct PTRs. I don't know if that would be something the court would be willing to do. Can you afford a $500 bond? Oh, sorry. Yeah. And PTR, I don't know if she would be qualified for ROR because even a $500, even a minimal amount of bond, she wouldn't be able to afford.
I'm on disability.
I'll do pretrial release, that's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Alexander Garcia Luciano.
With those conditions as well?
I'm sorry, the same conditions.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
With the conditions to
Oh, there
apply?
you go.
They can't hear us out here, so we have to alert them when they have a victim. The next woman, she does have a victim.
Oh, Alexander Garcia
I know.
Luciano?
Yes, ma'am. So I
Okay.
have to tell them because they can't hear.
Good luck.
Oh, thank you.
She said same conditions.
Thank you.
Okay, it's the next victim. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hernandez.
All right. Sir, are you Alexander Garcia Luciano?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sir, you were arrested on a charge of aggravated battery. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Is there a victim outside on this particular case?
No, Your Honor, there's no victim over here. However, we did make contact with the victim who is requesting non-hostile contact.
I can't hear you very well. My understanding, as best as I could tell, is that you don't have a victim there, And that's all I could hear.
The victim is requesting non-hostile contact.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, sir, there is probable cause to support the arrest. Your attorney will be determined at your arraignment. The bond will be set at $2,500. You are not to possess or use any controlled substance while you are out on bond unless you have a prescription. You are to have no hostile contact with the victim per her request. And you are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition while out on bond. And you are to make all of your court appearances. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, the defendant is also out on probation in Osceola County in case 16 CF 2932.
Can you give us the case number again, please?
2016 CF 2932.
2932. He was 16 CF 2932. The defendant was out on probation. And as a result of having been arrested on a new law violation while out on probation, the court is going to revoke, well, no. The court is going to issue a no bond on the violation of probation in the 2016 case. The bond on that case will be set at none. All right. The next case is Jessica Hernandez. Thank you. Are you Jessica Yolanda Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Hernandez, you were charged, or you were arrested on a charge of simple battery. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Your attorney determination will be made at your arraignments. And there is a victim here who I am assuming wishes to speak to the court regarding your case. Sir,
Yes.
would you please state your full name?
Samuel Hernandez.
Raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Daniel
Do you
Hen-
solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, state your full name, please.
Samuel Hernandez.
All right, and how are you related to Ms. Hernandez?
I'm her husband.
You're her husband. And sir, what do you wish for me to know about this case?
Well, she's not, like, this is not normal. Like, you know, there's been a lot of stress. This doesn't normally happen. Like, you know, she really doesn't deserve to be in there, but I guess, you know, you guys gotta, you know, you guys do judging and, you know, they decided to arrest her. I didn't want her arrested or nothing. It was a misunderstanding. And I don't fear from her. She doesn't
Can you
abuse me.
speak up a little bit
You know,
louder,
everything
sir?
is good at home. So,
I need you to speak up louder because they
Oh,
can't
sorry.
hear.
She's not abusive towards me. Like, this is the first time this ever happened, and I don't fear. I would like for her to come home. Like, you know.
All right.
Personally, I don't. She really doesn't deserve, you know, this.
All right, so you have, you said you're not afraid of her.
No.
And you do want to have contact with her.
Yes.
And obviously you're her husband, so you two live together?
Yeah, we've been married for 12 years.
That'll work. Okay, does she she qualifies for pretrial release?
Your Honor, she qualifies for a PTR with the bond. However, the charge does not qualify for a non-monetary release.
Sir, what kind of job does, well, let me ask Ms. Hernandez. Ms. Hernandez, what kind of job do you have?
I work at Osceola Community Health Services. I'm a certified medical coder and biller.
Okay. Do you have a checking and savings account?
Yes.
And would you be able to go back to that job if you are released out on bond?
I have no idea because they do background checks every year, It's, I got hired September 8th last year, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna be doing it soon. So I would have to talk to my boss and see what I can do.
Do you have any money in which you'd be able to use to pay a bond to be able to get out?
I have $310 on cash with me. And then I spoke to my husband last night to call my brother to send me some money.
Okay. All right. I considered the nature of the offense, considered the victim's testimony, I considered the financial resources that Ms. Hernandez just told me about. The court will place the defendant on pretrial release, set the bond at $1,500. She is to have no hostile contact with the victim in the case. Ms. Hernandez, you are not to possess any controlled substances or use them while you are out on bond unless it is a controlled substance with a valid prescription. You are not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition while you are out on bond, and you are to make all of your court appearances. All right. And the attorney determination will have to be made at her arraignment. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome, Ms. Hernandez. Diana Irabor? Ma'am, are you Diana Marie Irabor?
Yes.
You were arrested on a violation of community control out of Osceola County. It was for 2 counts. The bond on that case has been set at none. And your attorney determination will be made at the arraignment. The next case is Shannon Jones. Is there a 15?
Morning, Your Honor.
Shannon Jones. She's for this case? All right, thank you. All right. Are you Shannon Dell Jones?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you were arrested on a charge of battery. There is probable cause to support the arrest. Your attorney determination will be made at your arraignment. And there is a victim here who wishes to be heard regarding your bond consideration. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to speak up loud enough so they can hear you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and can you please tell me your full name?
Yep. Caressa Diane Jones.
Ms. Jones, how are you related to Mr. Jones?
I'm his wife.
And what would you like for me to know regarding this case and in me making the bond determination?
I would like him to come home. This is an issue that happened from too much drinking, and I'd like to be able to move forward and have him move forward as well.
Are you afraid of the defendant?
I am not.
And do you wish to have contact with him?
Yes, I do.
Does the defendant qualify for pretrial release? Does the defendant qualify for pretrial release?
Your Honor, he does not qualify for a non-monetary release. He does qualify for a bond with PTR.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jones, do you have a checking or savings account?
I do.
Okay. And would you be able to make a monetary bond of some amount?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what would that amount be?
I think we have 1,000 in there.
All right, I've considered the nature and circumstances of the event. I've also considered the testimony from Mrs. Jones regarding the event. I've also considered the fact that he does he can get out on bond or get out on pretrial release with a monetary bond. The court will set the bond amount at $2,000. Sir, you are not to have any hostile contact with the victim. You are not to possess any drugs or use any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are not to possess any firearms, ammunition, or weapons, and you are to make all of your court appearances. Your attorney determination will be made at your arraignment date. Thank you very much, Ms. Jones.
Thank you.
Bond plus PTR. Thank you. Justin LaShaw,
He's a reset and he's in detox, Your Honor.
he's in detox. That'll be a reset. Joshua Myers Torres. Are you Joshua Myers Torres?
Yes.
Sir, you were arrested on a charge of felony battery or domestic violence battery by strangulation. There is probable cause to support that arrest. I see that there is a victim here who wishes to be heard. Ma'am, would you please state your full name for the record?
Sandra Paola Ruiz Colon.
And, ma'am, what would you like for me to know in considering a bond amount for Mr. Myers Torres?
I don't want anything to go on. I just want to drop everything. I don't want to go forward with anything.
I can hardly understand you, ma'am. Can you speak up a little louder?
I wouldn't like to move forward with anything. I would just like for everything to just go on.
Are you afraid of Mr. Myers Torres?
No.
And how are you related to him?
He's my husband.
And do you want to have contact with him?
Yes.
Mr. Myers Torres, do you have a job that you can go back to?
No, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
No, ma'am.
Do you have a checking account or savings account that you could obtain money from or funds from to bond out of jail?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
How much could you afford?
I don't have anything on me. It's my parents that are doing it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I don't have anything on me with me, but my parents are taking care of it.
Do you know how much your parents could afford?
Not really.
I'll place you on PTR with a monetary bond of $3,500. You are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no hostile contact with your wife. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You are to make all of your court appearances. Your attorney determination will be made at your arraignment.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
The
you.
next case is Alexis Mojica.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Are you Alexis Jesus Mojica?
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested on a charge of battery. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Is there a victim present for this case?
No, Your Honor.
There is no victim present. The bond in your case will be set at $2,500. You are not to return to the scene of the offense. You are to possess no drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with the victim or witnesses in this case. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition while out on bond. And you are to make all of your court appearances.
Yes, ma'am.
Your attorney determination will be made at the arraignment.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The next case is Luis Montanez Rivera.
Your Honor, we waived the reading of the charges on this case.
I'm sorry, just say it one more time.
Your Honor, we waived the reading of the charges on this case.
There's probable cause has previously been found. On count number 1, the bond will be set at $35,000. On count number 2, the bond will be set at $15,000. You are not to return to the scene. You are to not possess any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with the victims in this case or the witnesses in this case. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agil Samuel Joyner. Are you Agil Kyrie Samuels Joyner? You've been arrested on a charge of battery. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Your attorney determination will have to be made at the arraignment. There's a victim present. Ma'am, would you please state your full name?
LaCora Graham. LaCora Graham.
And how are you related to Mr. Samuels Joyner?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
How are you related to Mr. Samuels Joyner?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
How are you related to the defendant?
He's my fiance.
Okay, and what do you want to tell me today?
Basically to come home. Like I told the cops yesterday, it just was a misunderstanding. We got into an argument. We're here visiting on a family vacation for our kid's birthday, and we just had an argument, and they said that you guys take it serious out here. Like I said, we're from Philly, so we had an argument, and they came out, and they basically took him into custody.
And do you want to have contact with your husband?
Yes. Don't touch it.
Mr. Samuels Joyner, if you're out on bond, you do understand that you have to come back to Florida for all of your court appearances.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, do you have a job now?
My only got 6 kids, and I just be watching them.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I have 6 children, and I be watching them while my fiance at work.
Okay, so your fiance works. So let me ask her then, do you have the ability or the financial means to be able to post a bond for Mr. Samuels Joyner?
I mean, yes and no, depending on the amount it would be, because like I said, we're here with 6 children on a family vacation.
All right. Considering the nature and circumstances of the offense, the financial circumstances of the family, ties to the community, the court will set the bond in this case at $1,500. You are to not have any hostile contact with the victim. per the victim's request. Sir, you are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances unless you have a valid prescription while you are out on bond. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition, and you are to make all of your court appearances. And your attorney determination will be made at your arraignment. All right, thank you very much,
Where do I have
sir.
to go to
Thank
pay
you,
the
ma'am.
$1,500?
I'm sorry?
Where do I have to go to pay the $1,500?
You're going to go to a bondsman, and you can go to a bondsman. They've got signs everywhere, and
Okay.
they can tell you what you need to do after that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, ma'am. Have a
Enjoy
good
the
day.
rest of your day.
Jeremy Morales.
Your Honor, the corrections staff has asked me to ask you to call Santiago Marrero next. They'll have to take him back unless we call him immediately, or next, rather.
Santiago Marrero. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Sir, are you Jan Moises Santiago Marrero?
Correct.
Sir, you've been charged with driving while license suspended or revoked, or arrested on that charge. Driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge. There's probable cause to support that charge. The bond in that case will be set at $500 or stayed at $500. You are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances while you are out on bond. And you are not to drive unless you have a valid driver license. In your other case, you were arrested on a charge of possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. Specifically, it was methamphetamine, and possession or use of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause to support that arrest. The bonds will be stayed at $2,500 and $500 respectively on counts 1 and 2. You are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances while you are out on bond. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition while out on bond. And in both cases, you are to make all of your court appearances. And also in both cases, your attorney determinations will be made while you are at your arraignment date. All right. Good luck to you, sir. Jeremy Morales. Sir, are you Jeremy Morales?
Yes.
Sir, you have two cases. No, it's not two cases, it's just one, right? I have two charging affidavits. Oh, no, they're two cases, resisting and one is fleeing. Okay. All right. You have two cases. One is for resisting without violence, and the other one is for fleeing, attempting to elude. On both of those cases, there's probable cause to support the arrest. The attorney determinations will be made at your arraignment. On the resisting without violence charge, the bond will be stayed at $1,000. And in the fleeing, a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens, the bond will be set at $2,500. On the resisting an officer without violence, and the additional conditions of your release are that you are not to possess any drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription, and you are to possess no firearms, weapons, or ammunition, and you are to make all of your court appearances. Same conditions apply for the fleeing without, or the fleeing the law enforcement officer with lights and sirens. And on both of those cases, the attorney determination will be made at the arraignment. Good luck to you,
For
sir.
the record, both cases do qualify for PTR as well.
Say it
Direct
again?
PTR. For the record, both cases do qualify for direct PTR.
No. Thank you, though. Jose Santana Valle. Okay, this is the one. This is the one that's two. Okay, but I think they're just two. I think it's just one. Okay. Sir, are you Jose Miguel Santana Valle?
Yes.
You were arrested on a charge of fleeing, attempting to elude with lights and sirens. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Your attorney determination will be made at the arraignment. The bond in this case will be set at $2,500. You are not to possess any controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are to have no contact with any witnesses in this case. You are not to possess any not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition while out on bond, and you are to make all of your court appearances. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, for the record, this gentleman does qualify for direct PTR.
All right, thank you very much. But no, he's not going to be placed on PTR.
Yes, Your Honor.
Julia Serrano Philippe Zader.
Your Honor, we waived the reading of the charges for this case.
Say it again.
We waived the reading of the charges for this case. Thank you.
Probable cause has already been found. No, it's not. That's not this case. There's probable cause to support the arrest in this case. Your bond will be set at $15,000. You are to have no contact with the victims in the case. You are not to possess any controlled substances unless you have a valid prescription. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You are to make all of your court appearances. Your attorney determination will have to be made at your arraignment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stephen Stone. Are you Stephen Lawrence Stone?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Stone, you were arrested on charges of grand theft between $750 and $5,000 and carrying a concealed weapon. There's probable cause to support the arrest in both of these charges. Your bond on count number 1 will be stayed at $1,000, but the bond on count 2 will be reduced to $150. You are not to return to the scene. You are not to possess any controlled substances without a valid prescription. You are not to have any contact with any witnesses in this case. You are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition. You are to make all of your court appearances, and your attorney determination will be made at your arraignment.
Your
Good luck
Honor,
to you,
for the
sir.
record, he does qualify for direct PTR.
I think you said that he qualifies for PTR, is that right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, but no, he won't be placed on PTR.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Jose Vega Acevedo. Are you Jose Emmanuel Vega Acevedo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you were arrested on a charge of battery. There is probable cause to support the arrest. Your bond will be set at $2,500. You are not to return to the scene. You are to have no contact with the victim. Actually, you are not to return to the residence until after Monday, September 21st. You are to surrender all firearms. For contact with the children, you can text only a third party to pick up the children. Does pretrial release have a third party telephone number they can provide now?
No, Your Honor, not at this time.
Okay. Because he can't contact the victim to get in contact with the children, so he's going to be, because that would be a violation of his conditions, so he's going to need some way to get in contact with the children, and if it's by a third party at the request of the victim, then he's going to need to know the victim's name and telephone number. So is there a way for that information to be provided to him?
I can reach out to the victim and see if I can get a third-party contact phone number. That way he can get a hold of that person to see the children.
Okay. I stated before that you are to surrender your firearms, but you are not to possess any firearms, weapons, or ammunition while you are out on bond. And sir, you are to make all of your court appearances. All right, good luck to you. Surrender weapons within 48 hours of his release. Jeremy Wright.
Your Honor, we request a waiver of the reading of the charges.
Sir, are you Jeremy Patrick Wright?
Yes, ma'am. How are you today?
All right, and for the two charges that you were arrested for, there is probable cause to support the arrest. Your bond on count number 1 will be set at $350. The bond on count number 2 will be set at $5,000. You are to possess no controlled substances while you are out on bond. You are to have no contact with the victim. You are to have no computer contact. And you are not to use a computer, and you are not to use the internet. Your attorney determination will be made while you are on bond. While you are out
Your
on
Honor.
bond, obviously, on the at a range.
Your Honor.
Yes.
The defendant had a question about the conditions of release.
I need to use the computer to work.
No. You won't be able to work then. You're gonna have to find something else to do at your job based on the nature of your charge. The next case is Melissa Ann Hobdy. Are you Melissa Ann Hobdy?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You were arrested on an out-of-county warrant out of Orange County for failure to appear on a petty theft. Your bond in that case is set at $500.
Ma'am, I was actually here incarcerated when the failure to appear.
Okay,
I've
well,
been here
that's
since
something you're going to
August.
have to take up with that division judge. I don't know who that is, but you'll have to take that up with the division judge.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Shelley Sanders?
She's not here? Okay, he refused, Your Honor.
All right, well, then he just needs to be set for, what are they doing with that? Hold on just a second. There's something. Okay. Well, he refused. So let me see what I do. He refused to appear. I know that you all have the new procedure that you're doing with having them fill out the indigency forms, or there's something that you're doing now instead of the public defender being automatically appointed. So when they refuse, I know one of the procedures is Judge Wish and Judge Carter were not automatically resetting a lot of cases. So when there was a refusal, the public defender is not automatically appointed. Were those judges still going forward with the initial appearances? Or were they resetting?
They go to, it's my understanding, I know my judge was doing it at arraignment.
Oh, okay. All right, so was it a case-by-case basis?
I couldn't quite figure it out. I know on our docket, it was discussed at arraignment.
Okay. Well, let me just.
Was it case by case?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna make an executive decision, and on this case, since he refused, Mr., is it a Mr.? Yes. Mr. Shelley Kelly Sanders refused to appear for his initial appearance. He has a violation of pretrial release conditions. There's probable cause supporting that. Is there a victim out there? No.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
So the bond in this case, well, because I don't have anyone here to tell me what his financial conditions are, because he refused. Tell me what his family ties are, because he refused.